How you doing, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Gramcast. So there's a topic that people have been asking me to talk about for so long now on all of my Instagram lives, in my DMs. They've said, Grams, I'm struggling right now with this particular thing. Can you do a video on things that can be done, steps that can be taken on how to get over your ex? So for me, there is 5 steps that worked very, very well for me, and I've seen it work for other people. And I've taken the liberty of putting them in order as well, of the order in which I think that they should be done for it to be effective. So, acceptance, surety, memories, accessibility, and proactiveness. These for me are the 5 steps. 5 steps on how to get over your ex. So we're going to elaborate on each point. But before that, make sure you all comment, like, and subscribe. Support the channel, support what I'm trying to do. Send it to all the people that you think it can benefit and that it can help. So we're going to go to the first point, acceptance. This is the key area that will aid you to recover. You need to be able to accept what's happened. And now that's not to say every relationship ends badly, every relationship ends toxic. Some people, they break up on good terms. But there's always that element inside you that's hurt. There's always that element of pain inside you. Whether you left them on bad terms, good terms, there's always that element of pain inside you. So acceptance basically means accepting the fact that this has happened. And that's hard for a lot of people because, they're in love with the person, or they've shared a lot of sentimental things with that person, a lot of memories with that person. They may have done certain things for the first time with that person, whether that be sexually or in other things. So it kind of stays in them. Maybe it's the first person that they ever were in a relationship with. So acceptance of what's happened is the first stage to your healing process, basically. It's easier said than done, of course, but ultimately what you need to do is you need to stop casting doubt on yourself, because there's always those questions, isn't there? Oh, why me? What have I done to deserve this? I can't get over this. What that person has done, I can't accept it. I can't accept that I've spent this much time with that person and now, it's gone. I've spent 5 years with them and it's a waste of time. As I've said in previous videos, it's never a waste of time. You will learn from every situation. With experience comes perspective, with experience comes purpose. So acceptance is key, That is like starting the engine of the car before it moves. You need to accept what has happened for you to start your healing process. The second point is surety. Now, what do I mean by surety? Surety is, am I 110% certain that I'm not going to go back to them? Am I 110% certain that I'm not going to let them back in my life? So you need to be sure in yourself that I've accepted what's happened and I'm sure that I don't want to go back. Because the last thing you want is to doubt your decision. That's the last thing you want. You've moved on, you've accepted it, and it's like, I'm not sure if I'd go back, when your friend asks you, would you go back if he came back or if she came back? And you're sitting there like, I don't know, man, I don't know if I would, and this is that. You can't be in a situation where you're doubting whether you would or you wouldn't. You've accepted it, great. Now you got to be sure that you're not going back, regardless of what they do. Number 3 is memories. Now, what I mean by memories is when you're going through your healing process, there's a lot of things that can trigger you. There's a lot of things that can open those wounds. Like the analogy I gave on episode 2, where I spoke about grazing your knee, putting a plaster on it, taking off the plaster prematurely, reopening the wound, because you're revisiting that wound. You're revisiting that situation. So what do I mean by memories? Delete the pictures, delete the videos, delete anything that reminds you of them. A lot of the times people get out of that relationship and they revisit these pictures and they start crying, or they revisit these pictures and they start getting depressed and all these things. That is restarting your healing process all the way to the beginning. All that hard work gone. Why? Because you've opened that video where you guys might have gone somewhere where you shared a really good moment, and it's made you feel emotional now because you miss it. So the last thing you want to do is see those things. You don't want to be affiliated with anything like that that can trigger you, that can open your wounds. So delete the memories, delete the pictures, delete the videos. All of that needs to go. Don't go on fake accounts to see what they're doing on Instagram or on socials. Don't ask your friend to see what they're doing. You know, you just need to block out all of that. Because let's face it, some people are very petty. They'll put on a facade to make you seem like they've moved on. They're probably feeling even worse than you, but they want to make you feel a certain way, and they know you're going to see it. So they start faking what they're doing to hurt you. So best thing to do, just deassociate yourself, detach yourself from that completely, and just remove them off everything. Number 4, accessibility. Kind of ties in with what I was saying with the last one. You need to make sure that there is no way they can contact you. You need to make sure that there is no way that you can contact them, in the sense of you need to prevent yourself from doing it. You know, you need to, as you've worked through these steps, come to that realization in your head that I've accepted it, I'm sure, I've removed all the memories that can trigger me. Now I need to make sure that they can't contact me and aid me to restart my healing process, because a lot of the times that's what's going to happen. Maybe they miss you, maybe they're bored, all these reasons, you know. Maybe they come to that realization, this is predominantly men, where, oh man, I can't believe I had that. I can't believe I lost that. A lot of men realize after, because they don't realize what they have until it's gone. And a lot of men come back because they're bored. Either way, regardless of the reason why they come back, you do not want your healing process starting all the way to the beginning. So you need to make sure you are not accessible to them. So they need to be removed of everything from your side. And from their side, if they're calling you on private, for instance, which isn't something that you can technically control, you need to be firm. Firm that you no longer want to be associated with them in any context, and you are done. Right? If it means changing your number, it means changing your number. You need to be, and some people might turn around and be like, Graham, that's a bit, you know, that they're kind of dictating my life. Why do I have to change my number? You are protecting yourself. And if it means an extreme measure like that, it's not all cases, but if it's an extreme measure like that, where you need to change your number to make sure that you're not opening these wounds and restart your healing process, and you feel like that's going to aid you to move on with your life, then so be it. Do it. And the 5th and final point is proactiveness. Now, a lot of people deal with heartbreak and emotion differently. You know, some people prefer to be all alone at home, deal with it themselves. Some people prefer to always be around people to, you know, help them get their mind off things. Me personally, I'm that person. I need to be out. I need to be with friends. I need to be around positivity and energy and great vibes for me to forget the negativity and to forget the pain that I'm going through. But some people, there's no right or wrong here. It's your personal preference of what you prefer and what you think helps you more. But some people prefer to be at home, all alone in their bedroom. Now, what I would say is you got to be very careful with that, because the last thing you want is to sit there when you're in this state and overthink, listening to certain songs or seeing certain things and letting your paranoia get to you. You know, oh, what's he doing? Look what I've seen, etc. But again, if you go through these steps, it won't get to that. But be proactive. Go to the gym. Read some books. Go out with friends. You know, learn a new hobby. I don't know, whatever it is, keep yourself proactive. Don't stay in one place, because all you're going to do is allow your thoughts to run wild, and all you're going to do is overthink the situation. So all of these, if not done correctly, can restart your healing process. And that is the last thing that you want. I've always been a believer of time and patience. And you're probably sitting there thinking, why hasn't he said time? Time is the biggest healer. Why hasn't he said time? Why hasn't he said patience? And I'll tell you why I haven't said it and why I haven't added them into my top 5. Because you could give it all the time in the world. You could be the most patient person in the world. But if you don't accept what's happened, all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable. There's people that have gone back after years. Why? Because they didn't go through what I believe are the correct steps to getting over that person. So you could give it all the time in the world. You could be the most patient person in the world. But if you're not acceptant of what's happened, you're not sure whether you want to go back or not, you haven't deleted all those triggers, all those memories off your phone, and all those pictures in your house that you framed, and all those birthday cards or Valentine's Day gifts or whatever the case may be, you've allowed yourself to still be accessible to them, and you haven't been proactive in working on yourself, working on that self-love again. Because remember, what happens is you break up, some people even go into depression, and they start doubting themselves. They start blaming themselves. Why? Because their emotions get the better of them. So the last thing you want is for that to happen. You need to love yourself again, and heal yourself properly before you find someone else, or try to find another companion. That was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And again, send this video to anyone that you think it will help, anyone that you think will benefit from this in a positive way. My DMs are open on Instagram, and there's a lot of DMs that I go through on a day-to-day basis. But please don't be shy. I know what it's like not having somebody there to vent to and to confide in and to get advice from. But you have a friend in me, and we can move forward with this. Thank you, guys, and take care.